My name is Brandon Portnoff, and I am the co-founder of MedSchoolBro. MedSchoolBro is a influencer creator brand. We sell educational resources, study guides, flashcards, PDFs to med students all over the world. There's a lot of old and archaic textbooks in the current education system, and the industry has been ripe for innovation. And so one of the things that we bring to the educational space, specifically with medicine, is a fresh, new, fun way to study for your exams. And what we found is that it leads actually to better results than using the regular resources that are already been out there. Because we're an influencer brand, most of the people being introduced to us are on their phones. So naturally, when people are shopping on our website, they're all browsing on their phones. So one of the first things we thought about was, if most of our shoppers are already using their phones, wouldn't we want to give them a superior customer experience, which is, in the form of a mobile app, which is one of the reasons we wanted to build one. The other reason was because it can be used as another communication channel. So, retention is the new acquisition these days, and being able to reach your customers where they are spending their time the most is really, really important. So push notifications were another really big factor in us wanting to build a mobile app as well. With our study guides, people have different blocks when they're studying, right? They have different exam dates. So they may need some resources now, and they may need some resources later on. Even a larger and more broadly speaking, we actually sell to both pre-med and medical students. There's some products that we sell to students that are looking to get into med school, and then there's ones that we sell to them already in med school. And so naturally we thought, there's a gap there with, when someone is purchasing something and going to med school, or even studying for a later exam, and then when they need resources when they're actually there. And so being able to be with them throughout that whole process and actually have that app, have that software actually on their phones, being able to gain even more data and information on them throughout their whole customer journey was a big blind spot for us, and another reason we wanted to build a mobile app too. It comes back to data, and so the more data you have on your customers, the better you're able to personalize messaging and marketing. And honestly, one of the first-party data is king these days, and we're a social media brand. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, but we don't own any of that data. We have the followers, but we don't own the followers. But when we have a mobile app, we actually own the app users. We own the app downloads. So we're able to, send push notifications to different segments to whenever we want, and, personalize that aspect versus, our typical email marketing where, there's less data, there's less segmentation available, and at the end of the day, not everyone's checking their emails anymore. So that was kind of that blind spot. Building from the ground up is, a whole undertaking in and of itself. Having to have devs and manage the code, and it basically becomes a whole services department, and professional services, and that whole thing wasn't something we wanted to really deal with. That being said, on the flip side, with the cookie cutter kind of aspect, we also just, our brand is different, and we're not, I guess, like the typical e-commerce store per se, and so we didn't really want to fit a square peg into a round hole. And so having that balance with reactive was really key in making our decision. At the end of the day, we wanted to give people a reason to come back into the app. And most e-commerce brands, they a lot of them like to lead with discounts, which is totally fine, and that's a very great way of gathering customers, and it's a great way of marketing, and we do that too. But for us, we really like to lead with value, and the page experiences we wanted to build in there were to get people to come back again and again, and really reward people for their loyalty. And we're even able to build in a whole loyalty aspect into the app too, with study points, for example. So the more people are being active in the app, the more study points they can get, and the more they can redeem them for rewards too. Internal dev resources absolutely was something we discussed, and hiring is a lengthy process, and even finding the right person is a lengthy process too. But one thing I really love about the reactive team is it kind of just feels like an extension of your team. So working with them, they're super responsive, and honestly, it's been really easy, and there hasn't really been any sort of learning curve or onboarding process per se. It's all been like a super seamless transition. The one thing about reactive clips that piqued our interest was the fact that it actually reduced the friction for shoppers to even have to download our app. So with the reactive clips, we're able to give our shoppers that mobile experience and without them actually having to download the app. They of course can after if you want, but it kind of removes that friction. The other great thing is that we're able to also send push notifications to people who use the app clips. So it will work really great with things like abandoned cart and abandoned browse push notifications, where a lot of the time when someone goes to our website, we don't have their email. So we can't send an abandoned cart or an abandoned browse email, and we kind of lose them forever. But with reactive app clips, we can actually capture that potentially lost business. My favorite thing about reactive is being able to have that custom extensibility and being able to build those extra kind of value add features that a typical e-commerce wouldn't be able to have. So being able to have that flexibility is really big. We're also super excited for the reactive clips, which will be really big in communicating with our shoppers and reducing the friction for app downloads. Right now on our socials, we do a lot of that educational quizzing, polling aspect. But naturally, we thought it would be even better to kind of house it in our mobile app and give people another reason to be in there. Students are always looking to test their knowledge, and it's also, good question banks are finite. And so they're always looking for more areas to test their knowledge and prepare for their exams. And so the daily quizzes and the weekly trivia that will happen in the app is just another fun way to keep them engaged, kind of outside the traditional way of studying, whether they're on the go or in between classes. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that kind of value. Of course we want to know, how many people are getting certain answers right and certain answers wrong. A natural kind of upsell we see is, if we have a cardiology question of the day and 20% of the people get it wrong. Well, we can immediately kind of just send them a push notification or an offer immediately in-app, giving them 15% off our cardiology guide, because it's like, hey, maybe you need to brush up on this. Similarly, if someone gets a question right, you could do the same thing, or we could say, hey, it seems like you've got cardiology nailed down. Why don't you try our neurology guide? And so that kind of the data there on just like what students are getting right and wrong is going to be really big. Of course, naturally, the other thing is going to be where they're at in their med school journey too. Being able to find out when they first download the app or create their account, where they're at in their med school journey is going to be another thing that we'll be able to leverage. Working with Laser, it really made sense because it was like a very natural fit between them and Reactive, and having to go and find our own other custom development to bring it on and work with them, it was also a hassle. And the nice thing is Reactive's got a network of these agencies they work with, and they were able to connect us with them right away. I didn't have to do any sort of real due diligence per se. It was very hands-off for me, and Laser's done a fantastic job. So Reactive made the process really seamless. Yeah, you could definitely say that. I think at the end of the day, we view this app as being the ideal place for our customers to be and shop. And at the end of the day, the more people, the more shoppers, the more existing customers we can get into our app, the better experience they'll have and the better our business will perform. React has been the best partner for us to achieve our goals because they're extremely flexible. They take a lot of the legwork out of the customization and getting things set up. And they're also really good at providing advice, especially when it comes to mobile apps. We're able to lean on them as well for marketing tips or push notification journey help. Things of that nature. What I've learned throughout this process with Reactive is it's actually not as hard as you think to launch your own mobile app. I'm glad something like this exists now because I don't think with what we're currently building and what we currently have, I don't think it would have been possible without Reactive. Yes, I absolutely see Reactive as a long-term partner. We're just getting started and they want to see our success as much as we do. So we're looking forward to a long, fruitful partnership. One of the great things, especially with using an app system like Reactive, is being able to get all of that data and be able to segment our customers. So when they're downloading the app, we can ask them a bunch of questions too. Are you a pre-med? Are you a med student? And we can even personalize certain things to their liking, personalize push notifications, personalize messaging, even product offers. You know, where we really see it fits in is, you know, we're really big on education. Like naturally our products are educational, but we always like to lead with value first. And so one of the other great things we're able to do with the reactive platform is to build on top of the native shopping experience. And we're looking to provide educational value in the form of, you know, questions of the day, weekly trivia, where students can come back and, you know, come back many times to nurture the audience. And I think the real big value play there is where we see this kind of fit in, and naturally over time that's gonna translate to purchases too.